Finish. You may begin.
Act 1. The time and place, March 5th, 1770, Boston, Massachusetts. The setting, outside the customs house. The American Revolution might have never happened. Not everyone in the 13 American colonies wanted independence, and almost no one imagined that the colonists, who had no standing army and no navy, could defeat the strongest military power in the world since the Roman Empire.
And when we look back across the centuries, great events of history sometimes seem neat and orderly planned out in advance, but many times the small events that led to great ones were disorderly and accidental. The Boston Massacre was one of those.
Neither side meant for there to be bloodshed that day.
March 5th, 1770.
In Boston, Massachusetts.
A wet snow had fallen overnight.
Perfect for making snowballs.
Look, a crowd is gathering around the customs house.
That is where the money from the hated taxes is stored.
Lobsterback.
Go home, lobsterback.
They called the British soldiers lobsterbacks because of their red coats.
In those days, lobsters weren't considered a delicacy. Lobsters were everywhere along the shore, and in minutes you could pick up more than you could carry. Only the very poor people ate them, and others used them for fertilizer.
The British are thieves, tyrants, invaders. Tar and feather them.
Lobsterbacks.
Actually, the common British soldier wanted to be friendly with the American colonists.
The British soldiers did not want to be here so far away from their homes, but the colonists saw them as occupying army, which they were.
It was an impossible situation.
The current events was moving too quickly for anyone to control.
Go away, you thugs. Thugs? He calls us thugs.
If we hadn't invaded London, he might be rightly to call us thugs.
Uh-oh, now they're starting to throw snowballs at the century.
Down with the British tyranny.
Down with the Townsend axe.
See that man who just shouted down with the Townsend axe? That's Crispus Attucks, a black sailor.
Most of the facts about his life have been lost in time, but he's about to pay a big price for his views.
The Townsend Acts were provoked all this.
The Townsend Acts were important import duties, in other words, taxes on goods imported from England.
England taxed goods such as paper, glass, paint, and tea. The colonists didn't object to paying all these taxes. Every English person paid taxes. It's just that the colonists wanted to be consulted about it.
The men who wanted independence, patriots such as Sam Adams, Paul Revere, and Ben Franklin, needed a cause around which to rally the people to their side. Lofty talk and beautiful language about the rights of people wouldn't do it. They needed something concrete, something everyone could understand. With the Townsend Acts, the British handed the patriots a cause.
Coincidentally, there was a petition battle going on back in England between two competing parties, and one party used the issue of colonial taxes to taunt the other side. Neither really cared about the issue itself, but they should have.
To see how this happened, let's shift the scene back to the English Parliament in London. Act 2, the time and place, 1767, London, England. The setting, inside the English Parliament.
You're cowards. You're afraid of the Americans. We dare not tax America, you whine.
That was Lord Grenville. He used to be the head of Parliament, sort of like our president, but he got voted out of office, and now he wants to gain it back.
Do I fear Americans? No. Am I a coward? Dare I not tax America? I dare. I am no coward. I dare to tax America.
And that was Lord Townsend. He's like our Secretary of the Treasury.
Do you, Townsend? I wish to God I could see it.
By God, you will see it.
It's interesting to wonder what might have happened if the British had behaved more diplomatically, more intelligently towards their colonists in America. But colonies, especially those so far away, were expensive to maintain. Lord Grenville looked for a cause to help him get reelected, found a popular one in the idea that colonies should help pay for their keep. It wasn't a smart move, but Lord Townsend jumped in.
That led straight to trouble, and back to Boston. Act 3, the time and place, March 5th, 1770, Boston, Massachusetts. The setting, outside the customs house.
As you can see, the angry crowd has grown.
Tar and feather Lord Townsend.
That shows what you know. Lord Townsend's been dead all these 3 years.
Good. May he rot. May all England rot.
Stop throwing things, you rabble, or I'll shoot in self-defense.
Defense? We're the ones who need defense against you.
Here comes John Gray.
Break it up! Everyone go home.
John Gray owns that rope-making shop over there. Many merchants were against independence, but because they thought it would be bad for business.
Go home, I say. Leave that sentry alone or there will be trouble.
You've got some nerve, John Gray. He's been hiring British soldiers at the expense of Americans.
Shame on you, John Gray.
You're a traitor, Gray.
He's not a traitor. You're the traitors. You betrayed England and your king.
Tar and feather, King George.
Hey, you watch your mouth.
Down with England.
Break it up! Break it up, I say!
They're throwing snowballs again.
And rocks.
Here comes an officer.
It's Thomas Preston, captain of the guard.
Disperse, you troublemakers. Disperse at once or I'll call out the guard.
Look, he's drawing his sword. He means to attack us.
A rock hits the captain.
Now it's going to turn serious.
Stop this!
Go back and supervise your British soldiers.
They'll probably be loafing. Send in the guard.
Here they come. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. 8 soldiers, and they're armed for battle. Captain Preston takes his place at the head of the line.
Why don't you fire? You don't dare fire on us.
Wait, Captain, wait. I'm sure we can settle this without violence.
That's Richard Holmes, a respectable local merchant who tries to act as a peacemaker.
But it's too late for peace.
Sir, I trust you mean no harm to these people.
By no means, sir. But we'll fire in self-defense. Make no mistake about that.
Put down your weapons and fight like men.
Cowards.
Step back, you people. Do not crowd us. You stand warned.
Stop throwing things. Stop this now.
But someone reaches out and grabs one of the soldiers' muskets.
No! The gun goes off.
Then all the soldiers fire. It's happened. The first bloodshed and the war hasn't even started.
5 people are dead, including Crispus Attucks, and several others are wounded. The wounded and dead are carried from the street.
Captain Preston seems panic-stricken. He didn't mean for this to happen, and will have to answer for it. He's marching his men away, screaming at them as the gun smoke fades in the cold winter breeze.
But the story didn't end there. Act 4, the time and place, December 5th, 1770, Boston, Massachusetts. The setting, a courtroom.
Captain Preston and his men were placed on trial for murder. One of the most famous patriots, John Adams, volunteered to defend them.
Are you out of your mind, Adam? Those men killed Americans in cold blood. How can you defend them?
I do not because I love England, because I love liberty. There can be no liberty if the right to a fair trial is denied to anyone.
Soldiers were found guilty of manslaughter by a jury of Bostonians and gave the only token punishment. That was fair verdict. Because to be guilty of murder, you must have intended to kill a person.
That wasn't the soldiers' intentions, and besides, they were provoked by an angry crowd. Nobody in that crowd deserved to get shot, but without them, their words and actions, the incident would never have happened.
I hope you're happy, Adams.
The truth, whether it serves our aims or not, it is all that matters in the court of justice.
John's right. How can we accuse the English of taking away our rights and then turn around and do the same to their citizens? The radical patriot Samuel Adams agreed with his cousin John completely on everything, including the right to resist injustice and tyranny, the right of freedom.
But Sam believed that to attain freedom, you sometimes need to stretch the truth. He stretched a lot. Let's move outside and you'll see what I mean.
Read all about it. Murder. Redcoat's murder of the citizen of Boston. Get the latest by Sam Adams. Eyewitness to massacre. Innocent blood crying to God from the streets of Boston by Sam Adams. Get one while they last. Sam also encouraged his friend Paul Revere to be engraved a picture of the shooting on a copper plate so that it could be printed on paper and widely distributed. It showed a line of British soldiers intentionally firing to a crowd of respectable, unharmed citizens. This picture became the truth to most colonists. That's what propaganda is all about.
Sam Adams was a true radical, but then the idea he and the other patriots believed in was also radical in those days. The idea was the general public should and could choose their own leaders.
Oh, by the way, on March 5th, 1770, the very day of the Boston Massacre, the English Parliament repealed to the Townshend Acts. The good news about the taxes would reach American shores several weeks too late.
All right, so you guys want to take a bow? Good job. Okay, I can't quite fit everybody, so I've got from Amelia at the moment to Eric. Oh, nice. You want to, ready? Let's all clap for them, and they'll take their bow. Nice. Nice job. All right. Awesome work, kiddos.